I thought I'd have a little fun with this. I think it's a 1952 Gibson Les Paul that I just got. Some people have already asked me, is this for sale? Not yet, at least. I'm playing it and enjoying it. I really like it. It sounds incredible. But like most stuff, it may come up for sale in the future. Pretty amazing wear. I think this probably came from the guitar resting in a case like this and laid on its side. And so this just slowly kind of fell off here. I think a lot of that would clean off. But nevertheless, that's what it is. I got it plugged in here to a little Vox AC4 amp I brought with me here. I'm on vacation, so I can't really crank it up, but let's go ahead and listen to it. So, hey, Joe. Really great, even through this little guy. I got it set on a 1/4 watt, so it's pretty low key here. I can't really do that because you can't palm mute with this thing. Amazing sustain. These are really old strings, so. Alright, let's pop this thing down to a full watt. Clean it up a little bit. That's really great. How's the neck feel? It's a chunky neck. You know, I would say it's definitely in probably, like, if you were to compare it to something you might be more familiar with, the later transitional 59 necks. So I wouldn't say it's quite like 9.90, but close, so high 8s. Really nice rounded neck. It's very lightweight too. I haven't weighed it, I don't have a scale, but yeah, this thing is not heavy at all. It's one of the lightest Les Pauls I've played. Yeah, so just a couple things about it. Obviously, it has this wear here in the forearm area. Again, I think some of that would clean up, but I'm not going to do that because it's pretty cool as is. This knob has some like fog to it, but really it's just a matter of like polishing it up a little bit. It comes right off. It's just like a layer of fogginess. There's some gunk on there, patina, but hey, you know, that's what this is. This is not a queen, so to speak, although in its own way it is. Now here's something cool. If you look, the jack plate cracked, as most of these did, and look at how they addressed the problem. It just they ran the jack out the back plate. I just love that. I mean, it's kind of like, oh, why'd you do that? But you know what? Back plates are easy to find. There's no other mod to this. I mean, one of the caps was changed, but that's it. But I'm almost like, I want to leave that because that's just so cool. I got to get one of those vintage cords that have just a very little bit of a of a tip to it. That one's, you know, that's a 90-degree angle jack, but it's awesome. Who needs a luthier? Right, Joe? Who needs a luthier? You can just do it yourself. Son of a gun. I mean, this is the amp I'm using. This is a little tiny guy on a 1/4 watt, and the thing sounds like a stack. Ugh. So, anyway, I got a Mojo Axe tailpiece coming in. I've heard a lot about these. One weird thing about these is you see they wrap downward. So they don't wrap over the top, they wrap underneath. And then that tailpiece, you see, gets raised up. I mean, it works. It's not as bad as I've heard people say. But one issue is the neck angle is so shallow. I mean, you can even tell just by looking at it. Look how shallow that neck angle is. I mean, if you look down I mean, you can't do it here, but it's just ridiculous. So it was just part of the early design. I don't know if they kind of like, you know, they had a carved top to it and then kind of designed the neck angle as if it didn't have a carved top. So just kind of funky, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of people mod these out and make them 59 conversions. And this one I'm not going to do that to because it's unbroken and pretty much original except for that super awesome and funky output jack. So you can't complain. So, all right, let's go ahead and turn it up again. Do some clean sounds here. Let's see, what should we play? I'm just really impressed with the tone and especially the sustain. It's just like, I mean, modern guitars, a lot of them don't do that. Unless Joe builds them, then they do. Yeah, I haven't even really cleaned this guy up much, but just take a look at some of the details here. You got Les Paul headstock. Obviously, it's being reversed by the camera. That headstock's totally intact. Just finished checking. Tuners are a little funky in a couple spots, but how do I turn this around? I don't know. Oh, there you go. Little details. Look at how the finish checked on that. Around that control cavity area. I don't think these came with the poker chip rhythm treble by this year. But all the white plastics are there. Even has vintage gunk on it. But there's a close-up of that knob. See, it just cleans right off. I should probably just leave the gunk to make it original. And then the tailpiece end. Patent pending. And the patent is probably still pending on that because the patent office said, these tailpieces are terrible, make a new one. And we're glad they did because we all love the ABRs. Take a close look at some of this wear here. I don't see any like super flaminess under here. Although it is interesting because I think right here you can see the seam line. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And if you look at how it's aligned, slightly off center. So probably like 3/4 of an inch off center. So I would guess it was probably a 2-piece top if I'm right about that, but I could be wrong. Because I don't really see it up here. So anyway, yeah, other than the output jack thing. What's up with the wear around the trapeze? That's a good question. So obviously some of this is forearm wear. I think that based on how this is, I think the guitar may have sat like in a case and then stacked like that. And then over time, it could be that like you can kind of see how this just slowly, the particles or whatever from the tailpiece kind of fell. And first on the top of the curve and then down to here and just rested. I don't know. That was a guess. You know, again, some of this is like gunk that would come off. You know, some of it isn't. So it's hard to tell. But anyway, it is what it is. It's just something that probably reacted with the finish. Maybe somebody else knows. But anyway, it's awesome the way it is. I mean, look at that, for crying out loud. That's just awesome. I think that's awesome. There's some more details. These things just green out like crazy. Look at that. Beautiful checking. I mean, there's no doubt about the originality of the finish. Look at that. Just so interesting. The way it kind of like comes and then rounds around. Yeah, leave it, exactly. Joe is right. I'm going to leave it. But the back, it's got a great back. A little bit of wear, but nothing terrible. Neck heel is great. But there you can kind of see how shallow that is? Frets are a little worn. Like if you look, especially in the mid areas. That's not in focus. Yeah, there you can kind of see. See how it's like, and mainly in the middle strings. If you look on the wear on the back of the neck, you can kind of see where his hand was. That's like 3rd, 4th, 5th fret mainly. Which, incidentally, are the ones that get most of the wear. Small frets on this guy, so, you know, a refret would definitely help it, but for now, let's just get this guy up and running. All right, let's go ahead and play it some more, because that's what these guitars are for. Play. Love it. Really old strings. Just goes. Yeah, I think, you know, the thing that bothers me most about this tailpiece is I just can't get my hand where I want it. Bridge pickup is slightly microphonic. Not much, but a little, which is good. Makes it go. It's got this nice, tight, punchy sound to it. Here, I'm just going to keep punching the phone. That's the best way I can describe it. It's very unique to vintage guitars. They have this kind of tight sound to them, at least I think so. Now listen to that. It's not a Gibson if the G doesn't go out of tune. Ah, I love that. The chime on those top two strings. It's really too bad I'm in this condo because I want to rip it up, but I can't. Let's just take another close look at some of this stuff on here. So I think that's my favorite thing on this top is the way that checking comes right around that tip. And the tip is there. It's original. So crazy. So many of them break. Those inlays. Let's take a look at I love how the metal on these just darken up. Unreal. And this has the taller barrel knobs. I actually had a set of these that I sold for parts. But yeah, these are the taller barrel knobs. They're actually quite substantial. You definitely get your hand on them. So, and that's kind of cool to see. The bridge does move, wiggle a little bit. So, again, the Mojo bridge, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Some of you are. This wraps underneath. The Mojo wraps over top, and it goes down lower, which is kind of sweet. Let's take a closer look at all that wear. Sometimes you can see, like, on the edge, if it's got, like, a flamey top. You can tell. This one doesn't really look like it. It does also have the original case, which isn't here yet. I went ahead and had the fellows over at the A+ Guitar Store, who, by the way, did a fine job with this and gave me a great deal. They shipped the cases separately, so I got it in a Gator case that was really good. And, you know, I don't want it. The old cases are usually pretty awesome, but we just don't want to take any chances, so... Notice how the logo is a little lower. I'm not sure when that switched, but... And the other thing is, there's no serial number on the headstock, which is right for the year. If you saw a serial number on one of these, you would know it's not original, at least an early 52. If anybody knows, they could tell me when the serial numbers were put on. And you can see where the truss rod is up a little higher. That's the nice wide bevel on there. Binding on this is also in really good shape. So, anyway, let's pop this guy up and you can take a look at it. See if we can get some good light on it. Oh, yeah, see? Photographer's bane is trying to get the good light, so... And you got some glare. Oh, well. Well, you get the idea. There she is. 53 serials show up. Okay. So I guess it's just through the pots that you'd have to precisely date this guy. Earliest ones didn't have binding, right? This one needs a truss rod adjustment. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, you can't. A little bit of a truss rod adjustment would be good. So, anyway, I went ahead for the back because of this. They moved the jack right here. I went ahead and ordered a replacement. I think I'm just going to leave it for now and just include that on there, but we'll see what we want to do. The jack, I don't think otherwise has been messed with. The holes look stock, and plastic jack plates, so they bust easily. All you got to do is sit down on the guitar wrong, and I heard a joke from somebody that said that's why you buy the Gibson lap steels because you got to replace them when they break on the Les Pauls. So I love how the finish checks on these. I can't get it to focus. Anyway, you get the idea. All right, well, I'm gonna go take a nap. I got 5 kids, and they're all gonna want to go swim and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and Dad's gonna be tired and grumpy, although I shouldn't be. See you later.